Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers Studio Series 86. This is deluxe class Bonecrusher. So what we're going to do in the video, we've got loads to cover. We're going to do a very brief comparison with the original and the Combiner Wars. The reason why it's going to be quite brief is because there's a much more detailed separate video loaded of that. However, I've been asked in some of the comments on the previous video to do some comparisons with some other Combiner limbs, so I'm going to be doing that in quite a bit of detail as well. We can also see him next to Scrapper and a few other figures, and again I'm just going to show you as much as I can about this figure. Now obviously before we get started, once again I need to give Hasbro a huge thanks for lending me and allowing me to do this video, and also to thank In-Demand stores because that's where this came from. It was on display in their shelf, and again thanks to both of them we can bring this review to you. So again, because this is all official, I'm lucky enough to have the packaging, so let's start off with looking, oh, as he kicks it over, let's start off with looking at that. Now the other sort of questions that I've been asked regarding the packaging is the box size. So let me show you this. What we're going to check is the size of it compared to the other Studio Series boxes. So funnily enough, let me just move this back, it is a bit taller, and it is it the same width? It's the just ever so slightly thinner. Yeah, ever so slightly thinner, slightly taller, which is strange. And then roughly, let's have a look, roughly, yeah, the same sort of width. So the box size is just slightly taller. So that hopefully answers that question. The other question, again, just to confirm and reiterate, there is no movie backdrop scenes. You just get the card which he was attached to, and the accessories come still wrapped up in the tissue paper. So no backdrop, that is confirmed. On the box itself, let me get rid of that. You've got, of course, product image at the front. You've got the scene, of course, where he's Devastator in the movie. You've probably already noticed I've uploaded the transformation tutorial. And once again, we've got Devastator on the side. So the box is nice like that. The instructions, this looks to be the new way they're doing it. So again, actual product image there. And then we've got what we can do with all the accessories on this as well. So what I like to do is a bit of first impressions, then we're going to do alternate mode, and then we'll come back and do the comparisons and see what exactly he can do. So again, very quickly, even though I've done this on other videos, he is a chunky and robust looking figure. The head sculpt is beautiful. Looks really good, full articulation all the way around, up and down. This part will come down if you want it to. You can turn it that way. I don't know why you'd want to, but you just can. It's because that's the same as what you can do with the Generation 1 figure as well. So it's nice that you can do that as well. So for the rest of the articulation, you can see that although that is mainly for transformation, you can move it down, but of course it will leave the appearance which is not attached. So it's not the greatest, but you can go all the way around. You can give the full T. You've got the ball and sockets for the biceps. Even if you just move this slightly forward, you've got the full waist swivel if you wanted to. So that could be another reason why you wanted to bring it down, but you can swivel that around, no problem whatsoever. The legs will kick past the point of the splits, past the point of horizontal, because you can just guide it slightly past these parts here. So you've got loads of articulation in them. You've got a thigh cut at the top. It will move a little bit again because it's on a giant ball and socket, and you've got a quite tight knee bend. The ankles and the toes themselves, yes, they rock fully over, and again, due to transformation purposes, you can press these down. Now what I like about this is, I suppose, the little subtle details there inside on this. Of course, they've gone with a cartoon animated accuracy, and the fact they haven't coloured in any of them treads. The fists are just painted on there. There is no wrist articulation. There is minimal gaps around the side, and there's none on the back. And as I say, in the transformation tutorials I kept this off, but I suppose just for the rest of this particular video I'm going to attach it just so you can see that it doesn't really make a difference from the front. And again, it's very similar to the Combiner Wars one. He also comes with this little blaster, and as far as first impressions go, he looks good. He is a chunky little nice sturdy robust bot. Let's come right back and have a look at him in his alternate mode. So here he is then in his alternate mode, and again, nice and chunky, nice and robust, and to be honest, very, very compact. Everything fits together, as you can see, really, really well. One thing to add, again, because on the transformation tutorial I didn't put this bit in, the only it doesn't change the transformation at all. In fact, what it does is it makes everything hold together more robust, more sturdier, because you've got an extra port or an extra place to tab everything together. So everything is held together really, really well. The silver there inside the tracks is much more noticeable in this particular mode. There's just a little bit of purple there, just really has a nice little edge to it. You can, if you wanted to, I don't know why you would, but just in case you wanted to know, you can move that up and down as well. You can of course attach his blaster and many others if you want, because there's some 5mm ports in there. So let's just see what we've got knocking around, and there's the one at the top, so you can put them in there like so. I would imagine that all the blast effects, let's see if I can find some, would work on his gun. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. So again, as you'd expect, that is how everything does pretty much work. Let me just take this off for a few seconds. Here is his generation 1 self, so much bigger than that, to be fair, obviously, which we'd want him to be. Here he is next to Scrapper, and in honesty, there's not much of a size difference in these. Yes, this one's wider. Again, you have got a bigger sized figure, and he does look that little bit wider, but not, you know, not massively different, shall we say, in regards to size. With regards to some other figures, and especially as requested, some combining figures, I've gone of course with Breakdown. That's popping up. So lengthwise, not too bad actually. About the sort of a little bit smaller, but again, this guy's thinner, whereas this guy has got thicker parts to him. Random set of other lot of figures that I can just bring up for you, just to give you an idea of scale and size. It's interesting to see, you know, between the toy lines, they do try and obviously keep all the robots the same scale, but obviously it's very, very difficult for them to be able to do that with the alternate modes as well. So I think there, with all that, you've got a reasonable enough guide of how big he is in his alternate mode. There isn't really much more to say about it, because it is just plain green. There's not much more tampographs, decals, anything on it at all. And of course, he's got the Decepticon logo at the front, which is exactly what we wanted to see. So let's come back for the final time with him in his robot mode and have a look at him with some more figures. Okay, back for the final time with him in his robot mode. Obviously, this is the way that I'm going to be. If I was keeping him, this would be the way that I would be displaying him until I had all of the parts, because I'm sure you'll agree that I think 99% of people are going to be getting these if they're going to get one set and just be combining him. Once again, I want to show you this bit at the back. It hasn't made a difference to how he balances at all. And again, you can hardly even notice it from the front. So before we bring in the other, I suppose, Bonecrushers, let's do again as requested. So this is another combiner figure, sort of same size, and now you can really see what I meant by how much more chunky this particular figure is. He is the mass of the figure is way bigger. The articulation is similar. I mean, you've got a ball and socket there instead of just a hinge, and of course the wrists here don't move either. That is just for transformation. You've got the same knee bends, about the same sort of height into it, and the feet will do again pretty much exactly the same. So pretty much articulation wise, they're identical as the other deluxe class combining figures. Compared to some other just deluxe figures, if I just bring them up and just pop them next to him, yes, you can see what I mean, that he is much bigger, much, I suppose stocky is a good word as well. He does look very stocky compared to, yeah, to the rest of them. So let's bring in some other figures, just again some random ones at first, then we'll do the Bonecrushers, and then of course we'll do some Studioseries 86 figures as well. So that's, I think, pretty much a Studioseries 86 anyway. This is a G1 Prime. So, well, it's the missing link one. I've got a few primes here, funnily enough, just to give you ideas. I always tend to use lots of primes because most people have a prime in their collection. And again, just to reiterate, these aren't supposed to scale together. This is just to give you an idea of the size of the figure, depending on the particular toy line that you guys collect. So there's a load of deluxe and indeed some Voyager class figures, which you can see there. Let's go on to, I suppose, what everybody pretty much wants to see. Let's bring the Bonecrushers in. So there is the Generation 1. Again, there is a real detailed video of this up. Oh, let's pop the blaster into his, oh, that's not even his, let's pop the blaster in his hands. We've already seen that the blast effects do work, no problem. And again, of course, if you wanted to, you could take any other figure, industry standard, and that would work there. So in fact, this guy's not even going to fit. He's going to be that much taller. So that does give you again an idea of how much bigger the Combiner Wars one is. He's a full chest, even of chest, it's definitely a head and shoulders, of course, much taller. They actually go down quite even. He's up to about that on him. about the bucket, and that's up to about the bucket as well. So you can see there quite a big difference indeed in the height. Let's just take all of these off just for now, and as I say, I'll do just a quick couple of spin arounds. That's your part at the back again, which I mentioned, very similar. These are very similar molds, to be honest. Just, well, the way they move, the way they transform, of course the size is the main difference. Very quickly then, let's bring in Scrapper, who funnily enough I love it when they do this, because it completely confuses me how they manage to do it. So overall bigger in the alternate mode, a bit smaller in height in the robot mode. As I say, always manages to baffle me. Again, Scrapper's video will be coming up soon. And again, just to reiterate, guys, I've got these on loan from Hasbro, so if I've missed anything out or anything you want to see, please do let me know in the comments. I might not get a chance to answer it straight away, but I'll definitely get around to doing a video on it. Right, last bit then, let's bring in some Studio Series 86 figures to see how they all line up. So let's go with, let's say, probably the main one. For now, he's again quite a bit taller than him. I know this isn't the 86 version, I'm sorry, but I just love this particular version, so that's why I thought I'd put him in. Wow, he towers over him. That mold is, again, you just forget how big that actual mold is. Compared to the core class, he's now towering above him. Compared to some Voyager class, let's bring him out of the way. How's he looking? Not too bad with him, to be honest. And then I suppose let's bring him out of the way and bring that in, so you can see how these are all going to fit together, or fit in together, shall we say. Again, I think they look great, but I do genuinely definitely think everybody's going to be putting them into the full combined mode. But you guys let me know in the comments, and as I said, anything you want to do a quick check on or you want me to do, please do let me know, and I'll do my best to get around to doing it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.